in Matthew 16:18, Jesus calls Simon Peter, meaning stone or rock. But why? For a quick overview, stones, rocks, and stone pillars were often used in the Old Testament as witnesses of an event or covenant or remembrance, like in Genesis 31:45 through 52. Jacob set up a stone pillar, and his kinsmen gathered stones to create a heap as a witness to the covenant between him and Laban. Or in Joshua 24:27, Joshua uses a stone to testify to the people, saying, Behold, this stone shall be for a witness against us, for it has heard all the words of the Lord, which he spoke to us. Thus it shall be for a witness against you, so that you do not deny your God. In Joshua 4:19 through 24, we read how 12 stones were placed at Gilgal as a memorial to God's miraculous parting of the Jordan River, just as he had parted the Red Sea. These 12 stones served as a reminder of God's power, ensuring that future generations would remember his faithfulness and fear him. Similarly, the 12 disciples act as living memorials of what Jesus did. In the New Testament, we don't see inanimate stones as witnesses, but believers of Christ. We see believers referred to in 1 Peter 2 as living stones being built into a holy priesthood to declare the excellencies of him who has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. So, in other words, believers are a part of God's temple. They are living stones witnessing the truth of God's goodness and of the new covenant that he has given us. So my understanding of the passage in Matthew 16, where Jesus refers to Simon as Peter, Peter meaning stone, is in reference with the witnessing statement Peter had just made about who Jesus was. Jesus asked his disciples the question, But who do you say that I am? Peter said, You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Simon, which means to hear or listen, was listening to the Father's voice and was being a witness of the truth of who Jesus was. I believe Peter was a living stone witness. In order to become a living stone in God's temple, you must declare the truth of who Jesus is and not be ashamed of him. Jesus says in Matthew 10:32 through 33, Therefore, everyone who confesses me before men, I will also confess him before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I will also deny him before my Father who is in heaven. Our joining in God's church is a partnership. Jesus is the rock the church is built on, but in order for us to be aligned and formed to Jesus, who is the foundation cornerstone, we have to surrender to him, making him the Lord over our lives, and confess the truth of who he is. Others claim Jesus is a prophet or a enlightened person or teacher. Many other religions make room for Jesus, but Jesus doesn't make room for these religions. We have eyewitness testimonies of Jesus' life in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Jesus said in John 14:6, I am the way and the truth and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through me. Other religions try to create their own versions and ideas of Jesus, but it's not the real Jesus. In Isaiah 9:6, which was written roughly 700 years before Jesus' life, it reads, For a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest on his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace.